Welcome back to the report. Now, the Muslim community in Sri Lanka has in recent years been at the brunt of intimidation and acts of violence said to be instigated by the Bodu Bala Sena, or BBS, a Sinhalese Buddhist nationalist organisation. Muslims on their property were attacked by a Sinhalese Buddhist mob in June 2014 in the towns of Alusgama, Barawala and Darga town. These attacks were widely said to have been provoked by BBS rallies prior to the incident. This was under the former President Mahinda Rajapaksa. But the election of the President Sirisena in 2015 gave rise to a sense of optimism following promises to preserve the ethnic and religious harmony of the country. But nearly 2 years on, the Muslim community haven't seen any progress. This month, the Justice Minister met the BBS and this stoked tensions between the Muslim and Buddhist communities. Well, joining me now to discuss this meeting and the wider situation facing the Muslim community in Sri Lanka, we're pleased to have Azad Saleh, who's the former Deputy Mayor of Colombo and leader of the National Unity Alliance, and Irfan Iqbal, who's Chief Editor at Sonakar.com, an online hub for Sri Lankan Muslims worldwide. Welcome to the programme, both of you. Azad, why, when there was hope when the new president came in, has this violence continued?
Actually speaking, we had 436 complaints during the former regime of Mahinda Rajapaksa. And 8 January 2015, we were instrumental in bringing the Sirisena government. And today, we are sad to say, we have another 236 complaints already made to various police stations. Actually, the situation is so bad that the Justice Minister, whom I spoke to and wanted the Muslim community to meet with him, seeking justice for the community. But prior to meeting us, he gave a call to the Bodu Bala Sena and wanted to meet with them in Parliament. That was the first thing that they did. And nevertheless, we thought, okay, let him brief the Bodu Bala Sena what he is trying to talk to us, because he being a Sinhalese and a predominant Sinhala area he comes from. So there had been a lot of rumors going that the minister should not be allowed to enter temples. So there was an issue, so we didn't take it very seriously. But nevertheless, we went and met him and explained everything. He said, don't worry, I'm going to put both of you all together to discuss and sort out matters. So that gave us some encouragement. And when we see nothing happened of that sort, but this same minister took the Bodu Bala Sena to the president twice, asking for justice for them. The victims are the Muslims, but the Muslims were met by the President, the Prime Minister, Minister of Justice, the IGP, the Minister in charge of Police. All these people were met and promises made that the Buddhist monk will be arrested, but up to today, this has not taken place.
Okay. Just tell us a little bit about the background to the BBS then. Who are they? How much support do they have?
I mean, they are widely accepted, like especially throughout the online community. I mean, their medium is social media, basically. They don't get much exposure in local media, though. However, it's widely believed the organization itself was formed by previous defense secretary, who is the brother of previous president, Gotabaya Rajapaksa. Now, although he denies it, it is widely believed that they were operating under the guidance of government or with the influence or some sort of support from the government. So they've continued. Now, throughout this period, in this new regime, people thought, okay, still Mahinda Rajapaksa, who is really hungry to get back to power, is still directing them and causing trouble. But the recent events, like Mr. Azad Saleh told now, we see the Justice Minister himself accommodating them, and at times even he's being their spokesman. He's acting like their spokesman. Like, I mean, even fabricated stories, he hasn't proved the statistics, but he is widely speaking about it. So it's worrying the community now. And the question as to where is this Bodu Bala Sena is coming from is still at large, because now the people are confused who to blame, because they were still supported by the current regime as well.
Let's talk a little bit now about the reaction of the expatriate community now. I mean, obviously that's reflected through your website and whatnot. Well, just tell us a bit about that.
I mean, they're very widely worried the events unfolded. Now, frankly speaking, we people who are living abroad, including the vast majority of people who live in Middle East, they were widely expecting some sort of peace. When I say peace, the peace is to say that every citizen is treated equal and the law and order is implemented. We don't really want any sort of sufferings of these hate-mongering people who just show up and say we just want to destroy the Quran and say no, Allah is wrong, that and name, and then everything you can think of. Now this has gone to a certain level which we were not expecting in this good governance, what they call good governance. We can't tolerate this. To be honest, every single person living abroad who gets to read the news, who gets to see the videos coming up, who gets to know what is happening back home, and because of their position where they looked that into, they know everything in bulk. They don't have to wait to see a television to understand what has happened. They get to see it immediately with the power of social media today. So they are really worried. Everyone is worried. And it's very sad. Because
some of the videos that have been posted by the BBS supporters, I mean, they're not just sort of political attack videos. They're insulting and abusive.
Yes, very abusive, and they're taking it for granted. They have no control over it. Sri Lanka, especially in this government, they were promising about controlling online hate campaigns. And they said, we will control everything in this government. We'll make sure everyone is treated equally. But for some reason, this government has failed to win the hearts and minds of people once again, just like the previous regime, because we are not expecting this sort of lenient approach towards hatred campaigns, regardless of who is doing it. Now, Mr. Azad Salih, in his complaint, based on which they arrested 2 people, one of the person was a Muslim guy. So they were neutral. The politicians who represent the Muslim community in Sri Lanka, they were neutral. They just wanted to make sure the country is peaceful. But for a certain extent, they are doing something. Yes, things are happening, but not what we wanted as peaceful citizens.